How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm restoring the route for the Oasis gas holder. It's a bit of a beast in the end, to be honest. It was an AI route, but 2 of the 3 trucks it sends you is like highway flatbed semi-truck things that are pretty damn useless at going off-road. Yeah, so it's kind of just north of the port. There's a quarry there that is worth activating. It's a bit of an expensive one, considering it's 6 fuel and it doesn't really cover much of an area. There's a different sand quarry that's on like a separate island that I go to later that's way bigger and it only costs 3 fuel. Yeah, ends up working out much better really. So initially I had the dozer nearby. I recovered that little epic dump truck thing. It only holds 5 tons, but initially I was kind of hoping, fingers crossed, that I wouldn't have to dump that many loads. I will say as well, like before I even really get that deep into the video or anything, overall it isn't really worth building these roads. You may as well bring this dozer and push the vehicles, because the first vehicle is a utility mule and that'll be fine. The other 2 vehicles are 2 semi-trucks. You can kind of, if you push the back one, it for the most part should push both of them, and then after that you've only got to get 1 more truck there to get the rest of the cash out of the mission. So again, you may as well push it, versus like how long I ended up faffing around building this road. I'll admit, a couple of things that would have helped if I'd brought a bigger dump truck, because again that only holds 5 tons. I don't think this dump truck's too good either. By the way, I had a glitch back there. I don't know why, they just stuck to each other and kind of rolled over. Yeah, that dump truck, it's like when you start dumping the rear, it catches on the ground, and if your truck goes up any kind of incline, it sort of gets stuck. Where that started veering off is kind of where I'm going to build the road. I also, at this point, you can see, cannot refill sand because enter an active quarry area. I know you can't quite tell where that is, but I put a flag, I could just see the sand quarry. So I'm heading to it now. I had the Land Rover nearby, so I'll set that off. I've cut most of this out, but you go along a windy route kind of across different islands, and eventually you get to this sand quarry, which, like I say, is way bigger and it only costs 3. However, I've only got 2 fuel. So I just quickly nipped over to where I'm in the middle of like filling the concrete slab facility with a shitload of sand. I had my bowhead nearby, so I took that to the construction depot. I can buy fuel with it, £1.50 each. I only needed 1, but at that point I just bought 3, so I've got 2. I don't really know why, but I don't know, old habits of games where I kind of hoard. Got to save at least a little bit of something. Yeah, activated this quarry. As you can see, it absolutely eats the other one for breakfast. And now I've got, it doesn't get you all the way to where I've got to take this to, but most of the way. This is like the wiggly, windy route going around all the islands and all the rest of it to get there. I don't think there's really a shorter way. Maybe you could build a bridge or whatever, but at that point you've got to go and gather the materials, and that'd take quite a while in its own right. Only took probably 5 minutes of winding around. It was just, for one, I took the stock Land Rover, and it wasn't the fastest. If it was something that just consistently kept a better pace, I probably would have left the footage in. Yeah, you could see there though, when I dump the bucket, it catches on the ground, and like I say, once you do that, like if you drop down now, it's not too bad. But as soon as your front wants to lift back up, the dump truck thing just digs into the ground. They need to make probably the tracks of it longer, because on the version that's got a sideboard and all the rest of it, that's like got a very short track base, wheelbase kind of thing. I thought for a split second that was a bloody train coming along. Yeah, it's one of my other AI routes. There's a few things that might be useful in this video, which is why I've kind of left as much as I have in. I can already kind of say there's probably footage that will show it better later in the video, but those highway trucks are absolute bona fide highway trucks. Anything other than highway, and they moan. But that Azov, to its credit, even though it's only rear wheel drive, it does actually kind of still roughly go along off-road. So got my road all sort of paved and flattened out. This thing, I've almost just got used to it now. For some reason, it seems particularly, I don't know, prevalent with this one. It's like this costs 62 grand. It's the newer version. It doesn't start tarmacking anything until you kind of open it, let it not do it, and then close it and open it again. So I set off. I didn't realise for a little while I was in low range. Just make sure you're not, because I think it might put you into that automatically when you open these. If not, I don't know, but either way, I was in low. Once I got out of low, it dropped the hammer a little bit more. So yeah, I was kind of hoping this would be the where I'd just have to bring it to. And that's part of the reason I didn't get a bigger dump truck, because I'm not actually trying to lay like a very thick sand bed or anything like that. Absolute kind of thinnest minimal layer possible, just to smooth it all out. I can't remember if I left the footage in, but I did attempt those highway trucks once I just flattened it with sand, just out of my own curiosity. Yeah, they're pretty useless. They got stuck very quickly. So thankfully I built a random road the other day when I unlocked the dozer. Should have put my time and effort into this, really. So I had a few vehicles nearby. I've got the rusty version of the roller. My new version is at the concrete slabs facility, and once I've finished filling all the sand in, I might try and pave some roads and see if that helps. Like, once I pave roads, maybe I could then dump sand on top of it and increase like the height limit with which you can dump sand, because it's not quite letting me fill the entire concrete slab crater at the minute. Close, but I'm still going to keep going anyway, because it's been handy for like testing different methods. I finally got stuck into like, yeah, an absolute monster of a sand pit I'm trying to fill, and yeah, in and amongst doing it, it's I've kind of figured a few things out. There was just a quick look. Like, I sent the A's of like the different AI route along the rail tracks. He almost gets stuck there, but he actually is able to bump his way up, which yeah, if you were ranking the vehicles, like especially the AI vehicles, in terms of which one would be the quickest, or sorry, which one would be the worst, the highway semi-trucks have definitely got to rank pretty high up there. It's between that or the van. The van only seems to have one wheel that ever is powered, so that gets stuck on practically anything. Yeah, the highway trucks, there's a bit of footage later that kind of shows you the difference between sand tracks and roads. Like OCD-wise, going down there, like trying to get the whole thing done in one. It left one tiny little line in the road. Yeah, you can see the difference between like road and sand. It's night and day really with these highway trucks. So I'll set them off. This one finally spawned, and yeah, that I nearly said utility mule. That's just what I'm calling it for now. If that obviously ticks along, I'm pretty certain that'd get there even at the minute anyway. But obviously once these fail, it kind of ends the AI attempt and it deletes that mule anyway. Plus I think even if the mule did get there, once these fail, I think it just resets to where these failed anyway. You can see in the background though, the road so far is going pretty well. And then now though, it goes on to like flat, hard, compacted ground that doesn't even really leave tyre tracks when you're driving on it or anything. So I think as far as this truck is coded, it counts it as like the equivalent of highway. I kind of figured this would be a bit of an awkward spot. You can see like there's a big hole in the ground. Bear in mind a couple of things. One, it made us bring a cable down here, so you've got like, it's not too ruthless, but you've got the mound running down where you've dug that out. And then where it wants these to go, at some point we've got to lay a cable from sort of where I am now to where these are heading. So even if you lay a nice neat road, you're going to have to dig it up to lay a cable, or you're going to make the journey a lot more awkward for yourself by trying to avoid your own road you built. I was hoping at some point, I kind of figured they'd get stuck, but I was hoping the second truck would push the first one and its tyres would kind of dig a bit of a groove out of this mound and all the rest of it and kind of make a bit of a cleaner track for the second truck to go, but they got stuck, so now I had to bring the dozer down to here. This is where I laid the cable to yesterday. Built some extra road. You can see the Azov in the background. By comparison, I've kind of gained a little bit of respect for that vehicle because it's actually kind of at least put some good effort in once it starts getting onto terrain it doesn't really like. Yeah, it was worth dumping a little bit of sand here though, flatten that out, bring the old dozer in, and then yeah, we're getting to the point I figured a few things out. But like I was saying though, if you're going to lay a cable to the next gas holder, at some point you may as well not build the road. And these two orange semi-trucks, yeah, if I just push them there, there's only one truck after that, which I didn't sort of realise until near the end. You'll see now where I start to, like, I've respawned them, and admittedly at the minute it's not too bad because they respawn where they last got stuck, but I could have done, I think I did actually at this point, like tweak a few of the lines because they were going off nearer to like the camera angle now, are kind of getting stuck on that ridge. Yeah, again, almost getting stuck there. You can see, basically, on sand, it's perpetually wheel spinning. I mean, I'm going like kind of downhill with the wind behind you. You might get away with it. Anything other than that, even like look at the semi in the background, that's just stuck. And then we get to this point, and it's pretty chewed up sand, so I was like, well, this is even worse. And yeah, got to get up to there. And it's funny, because like sometimes the feeling of want to mess around on this game a lot more coincide with a difficult mission, and you think, yeah, cool, I'm in the mood to go and spend a couple of hours excessively building roads and all the rest of it. And then sometimes it hits you and you're like, nah, I don't really want to. I wish it was just an easy AI mission that I could do, get it ticked off and move on to the next missions. So I spent all this time laying roads, and these were still getting stuck. So at this time, I figured, sod it, I'm pushing them, because I actually, above anything, I was curious to see, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hopeless are they going to be from here to the gas holder, because there's no point in me patching every little bit of road here, there, and everywhere if they're just going to get stuck here, there, and everywhere else. Yeah, and like I say, this kind of is a good example, though. The 2 of the 3 trucks are these. You push the back one, it's automatically ramming into the front one, so you can kind of at least get these 2 there in one run. And every now and then I was being a little bit delicate and slower than fully dropping the hammer. But for the most part, as long as, like, when I was on a corner where the back one looked like it might go to the side, I kind of held off a bit. But yeah, for the most part, you can just drop the hammer. And to be fair, this dozer actually gets up to quite a nice, respectable speed. It doesn't take silly long to get there either. And like the Loaf, why I quite liked driving this, was it's got plenty of torque. So once you're up to speed, it's pretty rare, unless you like clip something with your dozer bucket thing. For the most part, you actually like build up to a nice speed and tick along. Yeah, so you can see I've then got to get them up a hill, kind of round this corner and down here. And I kind of knew as well, by the way, that I am cheesing this bit of the mission, but I knew it was going to continue being an AI route afterwards. So I still do go back and fix some of the roads and all the rest of it. I was just at the point where it's like, I just want to get this mission done with them, and then see kind of what I unlock, what happens and all the rest of it. Kick back and enjoy the show, it says. Like, if only it knew. Kelly pops up. I cut most of that out because she's basically saying about like unlocking future missions. There's enough video tonight. I'll just end up putting it in a video tomorrow, really. Otherwise this video will be like 35-40 minutes long. Yeah, so I figured, like, obviously I've got the dumper and everything, but I was curious to see, could I enter destruction mode and drive along through here and at least flatten it out a little bit. Like, the good news is that blue truck, I haven't actually pushed it, so it has made it to there, but it's very slow. And here's where I kind of accidentally figured out a new method that I've just called like the Moonwalk method or something in the thumbnail. Obviously going forward it's very tricky, because as soon as, like, the angle of your bucket reacts to what you're driving over. So as soon as your truck sort of dips down, you end up ploughing a massive chunk of the land out, and it sort of ends up making the route rougher than if you didn't do anything. And obviously I kind of overcooked it on a bit, so I put the, well, it wasn't even like purposely, I put the blades down and reversed, and ended up smoothing it out. Here's another good example. When I drive over that ridge, the bucket just drops down, I can't react to it. I was actually getting not bad at lifting and dropping the grader to kind of get a bit of a smoother effort while I'm driving forward. And funny enough, like, whether in real life this vehicle would be designed to do this, as long as it stayed together and all the rest of it, it'd probably work quite similar to this in real life, because if you're driving forward and that's the angle of the blades and all the rest of it, it's obviously going to dig in and plough in and do what it's going to do. But if you were reversing it, it's now acting like you've got blades facing the opposite way and they're at the back of your vehicle. And yeah, as I'm reversing now, as you can see, it's making like a pretty nice neat line out of everything. It basically, when you drive forward, it can dig quite deep into the map, and but then once you dig deep, you start lifting up, then the chassis of your vehicle goes into that dip you've just created and lifts your bucket back up, and yeah, you end up getting like a wiggly, wavy kind of pattern going through the sand. Whereas reversing now, within reason, just push the grader down into the floor and reverse, and it obviously, because it's dragging behind it, it can't dig in very much, so you end up with quite a nice smooth path. Now I will say, as I sort of was mentioning, like, these are pure highway vehicles, so it turns out it wasn't that useful of a thing to know with these particular vehicles, but I can already undoubtedly see, and I've had situations where that had come in quite handy, because they're not always going to be the highway semi-trucks. So I came to this point, which is like the next sort of difficult bit they're getting stuck on, and it actually did help. Like, it helped even the highway trucks obviously get less stuck than they were. They managed to get, even like, I think on their own steam, they got to about this point now. This hill was being a bit of a awkward one. You can see in the background a rock that I'm about to reverse over, that the highway trucks, I believe, were getting stuck on that as well. This is roughly where that last truck failed, basically. But yeah, here's my other issue with it. The truck got to this point on its own. I could again just push it the last like 10% of the journey. With normal AI routes, once you've completed the main mission, it gives you like another 5 to 10 AI vehicles that have still got to use that route. With this one, for whatever reason, once you complete the mission, you've only got to get one more semi-truck there, and it'll give you like, I can't remember if it was like 3,000 XP and 6,000 money, whatever it was. You know how normally when you look in the objective, it'll tell you what the total amount of money and XP you can get out of it is, and then it kind of tells you a smaller figure, which is like XP and money per vehicle delivered. On this one, it just has one set of numbers, like for XP and money. It doesn't break it down into like multiple vehicles, which I think is a bit of a bad idea from the devs. I brought the paver. One thing I think is worth noting as well is once I've reversed like Moonwalk graded this section, when you lay in like this, it obviously doesn't fully lay it, but you get this nice even like tiger stripe pattern going on with it. Versus like this is pretty much where I started Moonwalk grading. Now you can see like it seems to not lay anything on sand that's undisturbed. You can see now where the tyre tracks are kind of appearing. It starts laying bits over them, but it's missing out the tyre tracks themselves, and as you can see, it's just a lot more scruffy, erratic, half-arsed laying of pavement. But then when I get to the bit where I reverse graded it again, it starts doing like a nice neat tiger pattern, and again, it wasn't that useful in the end for the highway trucks because they're just too shit to handle it. But the Azovs, possibly the van, there is some other vehicles, I think could be helped by at least knowing that. It was quite fun, to be honest, reversing with the grader. It felt like it was worth the effort because it was actually making a pretty nice smooth line out of the rough patches I was going over. But again, the highway truck kept getting stuck there, so I sent this thing in. At this point though, I couldn't even reach that bigger sand quarry. I had to just keep reversing down the end of the road to fill the bucket up because it just doesn't quite get to this point. And yeah, the reason why I think it's a bit of a shit bad idea from the devs to only have one AI vehicle afterwards, basically it encourages you, like, what's the point in spending, I spent probably 4 or 5 hours messing around in total doing all this. Obviously I didn't think I was going to spend that long at the start, but they kept getting stuck and I kept patching more and more bits. Yeah, why would I waste 5 hours when I can just push them in a few minutes and cash out anyway? And then after all that, at least if they're going to give us a difficult route where they know damn well the semi-trucks are not only going to struggle on bits, you're going to have to practically pave the entire route for them to get there without any aid if you're not ramming them or anything. And yeah, all that just to get one truck. It kind of feels a bit like the dumber decision is to try and do the game properly in that sense, whereas like, even if they had another 10 trucks after this that were 5 grand per vehicle, it's only 50 grand total. Like, we can get Warhammer barrels on other maps that are 40 grand each, you can get toys that are 10 grand. In way less time than this took, I could have gone and gathered loads of concrete from that concrete slabs thing I'm filling, and cashed all them in. Yeah, there's just, it doesn't feel like a good way of doing it, like a sensible way really. You just end up knowing full well you're sinking a hell of a lot of time into it. So I came flattening, just to let you know as well, this like tiger stripe pattern, it doesn't flatten it still. And now's probably, I mean, it's like honking at me. It's like, I'm building a road for you, you arsehole. You get stuck every fucking where. I'm fine. I had a dozer that's tracked. I've got a goddamn professional. I can get wherever I want on this map. Yeah, this is quite a good example though, because obviously I just overtook him. But then as he's kind of like going on to where I've actually laid some road, he starts catching up with me. And then now that little patch there that wasn't fully tarmac laid and all the rest of it, he got stuck again. But you can see now he's getting onto a fresh piece of road I've just laid. You can see his wheels spinning like crazy, but as soon as he actually touches the tarmac I've built, he starts rushing forward, honking at me. He's basically now, like, tables are turned and he's pushing my steamroller. He almost intimidated me off the road and I was like, no, I'm going back. But you can see though, because I knew he was then going to hit another patch of half tarmac sand and he suddenly goes a lot slower. I got, what, 99% of the way? If he gets about half a truck length further, it would cash it in, but he got stuck on that last little bump. It's like, god damn it. So I had to go all the way back to get one scoop from my quarry. I was outside the radius. I mean, maybe at this point, if you're going to go all out and build this road, bring the scalper maybe for the last bit. But, again, I can't strictly recommend that versus just push them, because I don't see, like, and the road I've now built, like I said, I might have to come back later, and this gas holder I'm next to now, we're going to have to bring some electricity to at some point. So I may end up having to just plough this entire road up, and it might not even let me lay cable through it until I run the dozer back over all my roads and, you know, destruction mode, like chisel them all out the ground and make way for the cable layer. So yeah, overall I just think it's a bit of a bad mission design because there's not enough benefit to doing it. Like I say, they should have had more like another 10 trucks. Because at this point they actually would make it on their own. I could just leave them in the background ticking along whilst I'm getting on with some other missions. Thankfully, like, sorry, if you go back like 10-20 you don't need to, but I was on about 16 grand. When that got there, I was on 22 grand, and that's it. That's the one truck beyond the actual mission objective itself that needs to get there. Now I've got the money out of it, you'll see in a sec. Another truck gets there, that one, for some reason, that one didn't go yellow. Yeah, money stays the same though, 22 grand, so... what did I get? I got about 8 grand out of it for getting that third truck there, and that was it. Yeah, there's a little quick last look though. That's the sand quarry. 3 fuel, certainly worth it. There's the size difference. That's what she said. And then yeah, just a last quick look at where I've me progress. I didn't do too much. Thankfully, I kind of went to this mission quite early. I figured it might take me a little while, but I'm running late now. It's nearly 7 AM and I'm just recording this now. Got that corner filled in. Still got like that one, and that one. There is a lot of concrete there. Like I said, I could have got all that and cashed it in and sold it for more than I made on those missions. Also made like the walls kind of wide around here, filled a lot of the edges in and all the rest of it. It's still not letting me quite build as high, but like I said, I might try and build a road and see if I can build on top and whatnot. But yeah, I'll keep at it. I'll just sort of leaving that in the background as progress. That's about it for today though. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a goddamn horse, and I'll be back soon.